So when I went down, yeah, so I went down south to see you guys, and I bought but before I did, I bought like a 12 pack of Modelo. So then when I came
Cans or
down, I stocked up
bottles?
on cans.
Smart man.
Of course, yeah, you got. I want to crush cans and bring them to the beach, make easy transport. But
Exactly.
so then when I visited you guys, I stocked up on like more beer, and um, it's just really funny. Uh, we're recording.
Oh yeah, damn. Okay, I guess we are recording.
Okay, welcome to the podcast. You guys dropped in on a conversation about my drinking habits. Tonight's drink of choice is the White Russian. Eric, what do you have tonight, sir? What are you sipping on?
I have. Oh, excuse the label on the glass. It is Pivo Pilsner by Firestone Walker.
In the wrong glass. Don't you guys have Firestone Walker glasses? You work there at least. You should have some.
Yeah, but I thought I might as well get a sexy glass, one with curves. Okay, we don't have one like this yet at the gift shop.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Apparently, different glasses, different shaped glasses are for different types of brews. I didn't know that, and I don't know particularly. Don't quiz me on which ones are which. I haven't looked too much into it. Beer is beer to me, man. It's not a. For some people, it's an addiction. Others, it's a hobby to cover up an addiction.
Yeah,
You
look.
know, it's like
If anything, I'm a connoisseur, and yeah, there's a whole like weird rule system with like different glasses for different beers. But the
there is,
one that
yeah.
can fit any type of beer in there, and people won't look at you funny, is something called a tulip glass. Now, what it is exactly what you think it is. It's a glass shaped like a tulip flower.
Tulip glass. I gotta look up a picture of this. Now I'm curious.
And the reason
Uh,
why it's a universal receiver of any beer is because different beers have different glasses because of certain ABVs in the beers. The alcohol percentage. Basically, IPAs
oh, it's one of
go
those. That's what that's called. That makes sense.
exactly.
No shame
Certain
in that. Yeah.
certain beers go into certain glasses because of alcohol percentages. So, like typical ales, lagers, and stuff like that usually fit in like pint glasses or even as big as like those Stein glasses like in Germany.
No, yeah, the big 32 ounce guys or the 24 ounce, whatever they are. Um,
Exactly. Whereas
most
like
steins are usually 32, aren't they? I think.
between 25 ounces to 32 ounces, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have both kinds. I have a 24 ounce and a 32 ounce in case I want to do a day drinking, but we'll see.
My man, my man.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you got enough Modelo to do that, so I mean,
I
yeah.
have way too much alcohol in this household. It's kind of dangerous, man.
And that's actually fitting because Modelo is the one cerveza that you can drink where you can truly taste its German roots.
Oh, there's like German influence.
Yeah, every single cerveza that has ever been popularized, in,
In North America, yeah.
yeah, like Pacifico, Corona, Modelo, Victoria, they're actually all based on
Oh
German
yeah, I don't drink
recipes.
Victoria that often. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
based off of what?
German recipes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, as much as people like to think, oh, it's cerveza straight from Mexico. No, it's actually based on German recipes. They're just made in Mexico.
Yeah, they have that Spanish touch. They got the lime and stuff. That's cool, man.
Exactly. But yeah, no, a tulip glass fits all beers in it because it's the perfect size for any ABV beer, like a light
Uh,
lager to like a heavy stout. It's perfect.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's good to know, man. I did not know that. Now, oh yeah, because whenever I go to S27, they typically serve me in a tulip glass. It's a brewery here in San Jose. Um, it was really cool. I picked up some pilsner last night to stock up the fridge a little more, and I was going over to my lady's house, so I got her parents some beer. I got them a Hefeweizen, and they like drinking that. So, and I got them some cookies because there's like this lady. I don't remember her brand, but I do want to remember it because I always see her at S27 doing a pop up. So anyway,
Yeah.
she she was selling these like fun cookies. There's like one that's like s'mores. It's got like marshmallow and like graham cracker on the cookie. Or there's like a salted
Ooh.
caramel peanut butter one,
Ooh.
or a pretzel, and like it's a peanut butter cookie with a physical pretzel in it, and some salted caramel flavoring, and then let's see. There's I don't know how you pronounce this. Is it ganache or nosh? Is the G silent?
I think it's
Hold on.
ganache. I want to say ganache.
Hey Siri, how do you pronounce ganache? That's not what I was looking for. Let's see. I can never get this right. just look up pronunciation.
Take your time, bro. Take your time. On a side note, it's actually kind of funny how this beer is named Pivo because literally in Croatian, Pivo translates to beer.
Pivo translates to beer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it means beer pilsner, pretty much, is what it's called.
Yeah, it's basically just beer. Yeah.
Yeah, beer.
It's like
beer.
It's like how chai tea is just basically tea.
Oh, is that what chai means?
Yeah, it literally means tea. So the fact that we name it chai tea makes it fucking redundant.
Yeah, it's like the Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah, the Angels.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. God.
What's been going on in the world recently?
What's been going on in the world? Well,
wait,
apparently
I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
I mean, I was going to talk about the review that you wanted to give on the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, but you know what? Let's talk.
Right. You know what?
Let's talk about
Let's
the world
save that
real
for
quick.
After, and then we'll talk about the world ending shit. So what's been going on in the news recently?
What's been going on in the news? Well, apparently the U.S. government is giving away 10 lighthouses, and I think a few more for sale.
Yeah, they're like auctioning them off, right? Because they're useless because of GPS, and that's like, I think that's like a cool thing. I think they should just give them for free. They should do like a lottery.
Yeah, which there is plenty of them going on for literally a lottery. Like if you win, you get a free lighthouse. But the only exception is you have to prove your worth, that you are dedicated to upholding the lighthouse and actually like renovating it when it gets damaged and whatnot, and actually having it available to the public to teach the history of like lighthouses and the importance of lighthouses. Which I'm like,
I like that last part. That last part sounds cool, but I have to pay money to take care of my lighthouse. What the fuck, government?
Yeah. Also, I gotta talk to bored like kids about why lighthouses were important like 100 years ago. Like, come on, man.
Some Gen Zers probably aren't gonna care. I mean, there's lighthouses were used to direct ships, weren't they?
Yeah. But there's probably like some other weird history around them because like most things, like people don't think about it, but then like once they actually dive down that like rabbit hole, they're like, wow, this is a lot more weird stuff than I thought. Yeah. Like I never would have thought Australia, back in like the 1800s was, too crazy until I learned about Ned Kelly and the Ned Kelly gang. Like,
Ned, wait, what was that?
So Ned Kelly was a I'm trying to remember the right word for this. It's I think like a bushmaster or like a bushwhacker, but basically he was a criminal who would like hide out in the Australian bush and then like rob banks and then disappear back into the bush. And apparently,
like the Australian outback or something, or what?
Yeah. So he was like just an outlaw, basically.
He was like Jesse James, but he hid in the woods.
Yeah, but the thing that makes him special is not only was he really good at what he did, but he was a Folktown hero because he was so nice about robbing banks. He's like, I really don't want to hurt you guys. If you just give me the money, we're good. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. If there's food, if there's drink, we just talk and sit around for a while I'm robbing you, and then I just go on my merry way.
That's like a very chill Robert's like, can you guys just vibe right now while I like train, dude? Like, can you just be cool about it? I don't want to like hurt anybody.
And the best part is, he was the first man in history to utilize body armor.
Really?
Yeah, he had a full-on like body armor suit, except for his legs. He had like chest armor, head armor, like stuff on his arms. He literally had a gunfight in his final stand against police officers. They were firing rounds at him. Did nothing because they just bounced off his armor, and he was taking pot shots at him with dual revolvers. Like,
wow!
In a 10-minute straight fight, he was doing this.
10 minutes in it, like for a guy who won't shoot innocent passengers, he will happily smoke some pigs. You know what I mean? Like
100%. And
that's crazy, man.
His armor is still actually in an Australian history museum.
Oh shit! That's cool.
Like, he was the first man to actually be Iron Man. Like...
yeah, for real, dude.
Yeah. The only reason why he got taken down was because they quickly noticed that his legs were unprotected, so they took a couple shotgun blasts to them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You
Thankfully
forget the,
that didn't.
you forget the legs, man. You forget the legs.
Thankfully that didn't kill him, but they did arrest him, have him in prison, and then try him, for his crimes, and decided, you know what, let's just hang the bastard. So that's just, that's nice.
Oh, he was hung to death.
Yeah, but his final words were something like, "Such is life." He accepted it, but he was kind of cool with riding out on a pretty damn good high.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like the everything sounded pretty cool up until like the actively killing cops. That was kind of like I don't know. They're just doing their job.
Hey, it's the 1800s, man. Like anything goes.
I guess so. But I mean, yeah, respect.
Yeah.
That was that's very interesting. The first person to use body armor was a criminal. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
But more importantly, we mentioned in the last podcast that you were interested in giving your full review of all the Alvin and the Chipmunks
that's
movies.
right. Yeah, so
The live action kind of CGI one. So tell me your thoughts, good sir.
Well, yes, let's start with the first one, the very beginning. So the first one's a classic. It's really fun. It's really simple. A lot of it doesn't make any sense because, like, I mean, they're talking chipmunks. It's like an insane concept. And in real life, it's like that shit should just stick to fucking cartoons, man. Hold on a sec.
100%.
Oh, sweet. Let me just text. So the first one's fun, and then what happens next, man? It was enjoyable. It was simple. It was easy. It's very digestible. All of them are very digestible for kids.
I mean, because the first one just basically sets up like their origin story, their rise to like stardom, and then like them wanting to be like the cool casual musicians, not like the big like major pop stars just going on a tour and shit.
Well, yeah. So like, what happened was, they meet Dave, they're hanging out with him, they're developing like a family and stuff, and like, um, they're developing that bond, and then like they become big because Ian or Dave wants to show them to his boss Ian, so you can like make cool records and stuff, and that goes off successfully, and then Ian tours them to death, and they run away because he's gonna like hold them captive and stuff. And the second one is them coming back, and they start going to school, but then also simultaneously they introduce the Chipettes, and the Chipettes are having a record deal with Ian, who they think isn't a villain, but he really was a villain from the first one. I'm giving like an in-depth description about a movie that really the second one really just kind of like sucks. It doesn't really know what it wants to be. It's very convoluted and mixed, and then the third one, Chipwrecked. I think Chipwrecked is honestly the best. It's a very concise story. They are trying to. What happened? No, they weren't trying to fly somewhere. They were on a cruise, and then they all fall off the boat. And then Ian's there for some reason, and he falls off the boat, and they're stuck on an island. And then Jenny Slate is there as like some crazy gold hunter.
What the fuck?
Who talked to Wilson and stuff, like Castaway and shit. And then because she's been stuck on the island or whatever for a long time, so she made people out of sports balls.
Oh my god. Of course they gotta have a callback to one of the greatest movies ever made, Castaway.
I actually haven't seen Castaway. I need to see it. But
it's fantastic.
I did see Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. So I mean it kinda got some competition in terms of island movie. But
I mean you right though, you right.
Facts. It was fun, and then Simon he has a character arc because he gets bit by a spider that like changes his like brain chemistry, and he becomes a whole different person called Simone, and is like all French and badass, which those two don't mix. But like,
okay, whoa, pump your brakes, man. Before World War One, okay, France was one of the greatest military empires in the world. Okay, after World War One, that title goes to Israel.
Facts. So then, yeah, those guys are fucking warriors. But
100%.
But so
America,
shipwreck,
I'm
and
sorry, you
then
guys got so many PTSD riddled soldiers, man. Like, and you don't pay any of
actually,
them.
wait a minute. Can we? I'm gonna sidetrack for a minute. I want to
Yeah,
talk about like today. Like it was kind of a crazy experience. I should have brought this up sooner. So I'm with a client today, right? And like we're at a courthouse because of stuff she wants to file. It's a whole thing. I'm not gonna get into it.
yeah.
Check her privacy and stuff. But we're walking back to my car, and like there's a guy on the sidewalk who like I guess he's gripping onto the trunk of his car, and he's like kneeling on top of a wheelchair, a folded up wheelchair. So I was like, oh shit, I connected the dots. He's like, he's falling out of his chair or whatever might have happened. And so I'm like, I come over to him. We both are like, we should go help him. And I come over and I'm like, hey man, you need a hand? And he's like, yeah, I just need to get back in my chair, man. And like I was like, okay, sweet. But he's like, oh, be careful, I'm heavy. And like I was trying to lift him, and he was heavy. And then I had to like bug a guy down the street. To like help me out, give me a hand. And so we got him into the chair. We got him up, and then the client brought the chair around. We got him into the chair and got him back up. And he was, and the reason I bring this up is because he was saying that he's a Vietnam vet, and he had a hat and everything, and he like the injury that makes him not able to walk is sustained from that. And he was crying to the client for like 5 minutes about like that whole experience. And I was like, holy cow, man, it sucks. And he's like describing like he said something that stuck out. He's like, I saw a young man like get blown to shreds, like his he had like shrapnel damage or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, and it was just like intense. But so, what were we talking? Why were we were talking about Vietnam?
Yeah, okay, I mentioned, you mentioned French, France being a bunch of pussies,
Oh,
but
that's
that's not
right.
actually the case. And then I mentioned Israel, then I mentioned America, and then we get to this.
That's right. That's right. So yeah. So that was just kind of a crazy experience today. That was the most unexpected thing. I was like, when I saw him on the ground, I was like, I'm worried I had to call 911. You know, I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
But okay, I got him in the chair. He was very thankful. We were able to help him out. It was kind of nuts. But anyway, back to the Chipmunks. So
yeah, and also keep in mind, viewers, we don't shit on actual veterans themselves, okay? Like, we respect all veterans, okay?
respect the veterans. We don't respect what they were fighting for, but we respect them.
Yeah, we disrespect the fucking military industrial complex that, commits war crimes on a regular basis, but, war crimes aren't illegal if you're the one winning the war.
No, that's facts. And you know what's
Yeah.
actually like really bullshit is they recently. It was actually I think it was yesterday or something. I can't remember. I can't keep track. So many things going on in the world. But they raised the debt ceiling. They pushed it pretty much till 2025, and they cut budgets to like so many different government programs except the federal defense budget, and that's just
Yeah.
typical, and that's really annoying. We already spend too much on that shit. It's like just cut back. What's the point?
Yeah, I need
Uh,
a fucking missile that I can launch from, like, a tripod, like, 800 yards away. Like, no, come on, man.
yeah, no. So anyway, back to the Chipmunks. So Chipwrecked. Our story has Jenny Slate turns out to be like some psycho and tries to like kill Dave and get some gold or whatever, and she threatens one of the Chipettes, and yeah, and then there's a volcano on the island that I guess is about to erupt, which that's convenient timing. So they build a raft somehow and escape. It's a very convoluted movie, but it's actually the best of the three.
Wait, how'd they
And
build
then
the raft? Duct tape?
I don't know, they put wood and rope together somehow.
That's
It's
some
crazy. I mean,
bullshit.
I guess they're chipmunks. They lived in trees, right? They know wood. Um, it is the best out of the three of the four. I mean, so the fourth one actually is like the worst. It's the pacing is the visual effects threw me off because like I mean the first three have like a consistent type of color grading, and the fourth one did not. They very much like did not fit on screen as well as the first three. Again, they're all CGI, so it's like and they're all cartoonish but also realistic at the same time. It's kind of like that good balance we saw like in Sonic the Hedgehog or in the new Rescue Rangers movie.
Oh,
That
okay.
was actually kind of a surprisingly good one. I need to watch that again. What was I gonna say? So
We're talking
yeah, so
about the
that
fourth
was
one.
weird, and the plot was annoying, and it wasn't well resolved because first it's like so Dave's got like a new girlfriend or whatever, and it's getting serious, and like the guys think she's gonna propose. He's gonna propose in like Miami, because they find like a ring or whatever. The chipmunks find the ring, and they think he's gonna propose, and they meet this lady's dipshit son, who's like mean to them and like bullies them and fucks with them, but no one sees it, right? Because he puts on this like goody two shoes act, And so they all team up together to like go try to sabotage this engagement, right, or this proposal.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get to Miami, but they end up on the no fly list because they pretty much caused an act of domestic terrorism in the movie.
Hold up, wait, what? How?
It's what happened? So they opened up the airlock. Did they open up the airlock? I remember they released animals onto the plane because Theodore snuck in through like a fucking a kennel thing, and then uh,
Okay.
and they also were like harassing the air hostesses and the air marshal, and yeah, it was kind of crazy. So anyway, so
Oh,
they
that's
get
not
off the
domestic terrorism. That's just your average like person on an airplane, bro. What you mean?
average person on airplane district. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, no,
He's
you seen
he's
all
a
those
smart
fucking
kid.
videos of like people just like harassing the staff there and just like
What?
causing a fucking fit and shit. I'm like, that's just an average American flying these days. What do you mean?
I saw one recently where it was this guy. He just got irrationally mad at like a baby crying. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's annoying. It sucks to have it on the plane. Like, it really is an inconvenience for like peace. But like,
But it's like
it's like don't you don't. It's not the baby. The baby can't do anything. It's a baby. It doesn't know anything. You know what I mean? Like, let it be.
yeah, dude. If you're flying on an airplane, like just do what everyone else does, man. Just like
Put on your headphones and ignore it. Blast that
exactly.
shit.
Have like a couple IPAs at the bar, take a fucking like, Ambien, and then just like tune out to like Slipknot in your fucking prepackaged earbuds, okay? Like
The 9 to 5 boys do not endorse mixing Ambien with alcohol. If you want to do that, consult your doctor. So, but yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much they're pretty much just a average American airline passenger, and then so they do a road trip instead. That's why they call it the road trip. And so
oh.
um, they like drive. They go through like Texas and like New Orleans. Cause oh, that's right. They had to do an emergency landing because of these fucking chipmunks in Dallas, Texas, and then they're stuck in there. They cause chaos in a bar doing some singing. The soundtracks are always good in these movies. Um, they're really enjoyable, really easy. I mean, it's the Chipmunks. They're adorable. They can sing. They can hold a note.
Yeah.
Fun. So then,
I mean, because one of them, people that voice them is an actual singer, so.
well, actually, yeah. So the people who do the singing component are the actual original. It's apparently. I think it's a. Is it a mom and a son who does it, or I think it's a mom and a son who does it? Who do like it's the son who does the voice of Alvin and the other chipmunks when they're singing. Oh, no. He does the singing voice of Alvin, and then the mom does the singing voice for Simon and Theodore and for the Chipettes.
Okay.
So it's all just like two people. It's crazy.
Jesus, that's wild. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I can't remember if it's a mother and a son or if it's a husband and a wife. I'm pretty sure it's like mother and son. I've got to be certain about that.
Wouldn't shock me in the slightest, though.
Call that a Freudian slip. But let's see. What else happened to the road trip? So then they go to New Orleans, and it's the pacing's really awful. And then they like the character development is way too quick. Like literally, like they okay. So like the chipmunks and the dipshit son are starting to get like connected, and like they're like they feel like brotherly even though they're not like a family yet. And then like there's a scene where they're like still trying to to sabotage. They finally got the ring. They're in Miami. They got the ring. They're gonna keep the proposal from happening. And then the dipshit son, who I think his name is Billy, I don't remember, but like we're gonna call him Billy for the sake of argument. Billy's all upset. He's like, oh, fine, the plan worked out. And he's like crossing the street. He's like, and the pacing is so awful that they didn't have enough time to make a proper like transition of him reevaluating his relationship with the chipmunks and making amends. No, they just like have him almost get hit by a car and die, and Theodore has to save him. And like,
What the fuck?
it's really, and then he's like, he completely 180. Like he's like, oh my god, you saved my life. I'm in debt. We're brothers. You know what I mean? Like we're in this together. And it's like it's not. It's really piss poor. And the actor is like doing some like really B-rated Disney Channel level acting.
Damn.
Damn. Which is fine. He's cute. It survives. But anyway, so So then they decide not to sabotage it, and they try to get the ring back, but Dave's already going to dinner, and then it turns out that it wasn't him trying to propose to somebody; it was his producer friend trying to propose to his wife, and he doesn't have the ring. Obviously, when he doesn't, that's a whole fiasco. So then they have to
Oh,
so then they have to redo it, the proposal at the end of the movie, so it kind of like provides closure there. But yeah, the movie wasn't. It was convoluted, and the main villain of the movie wasn't even Ian this time. It was some. It was the fucking air marshal they pissed off at the airport, and so he's chasing them around across state lines to punish them. He's the long arm of the law, man. He's trying to like
sounds about right. He's a cop, so I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, and so it's all and he keeps failing at every turn. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I would say the ranking would be the best is the third one, second best is the first one, third best is the second one, and the fourth best is the fourth one. The fourth one just sucks. You could skip it. They all made good movies though, good return on investment. The box office was pretty high compared to the budget. So
Yeah,
of each separate film. I mean, it's really easy to sell to small children. So.
the mid 2000s to early 2010s was a strange time. It really was.
Yeah, for movies, I think. Well, I think the early 2000s was also an odd time for. I don't know. Movie. There's always been odd movies.
Look, I think that was like a perfect excuse though, because if you really look at the early 2000s, like fashion sense was all over the fucking place. Like it was a weird
yeah, I
time.
watched these movies and they're like, what the fuck were they wearing in like the 2000s? That's insane.
Yeah.
I think the late 90s, early 2000s had like the worst fashion, personally. But
Yeah. What's
just
your
my
perfect decade for fashion? Like, honestly, I'm
for
curious.
fashion.
Yeah.
There's something about the 50s that's really cool, but I gotta argue it's the 70s, man.
Same, honestly. Like the 70s was the perfect like mark for like everything that was like colorful, but also like revolutionary in terms of like, modern fashion.
I thought
Yeah.
it was yeah. It's a good decade. You know,
Yeah.
people had drip, dude.
100%. 50s
Yeah,
were a good time too, but I think it was like too much like pastel kind of colors. That's just me personally.
no, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It only worked on the cars. It didn't work on like clothes.
Oh, okay, I feel you. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like a nostalgic retro vibe to it that I like a lot. But I also know the 50s were like socially and culturally and politically not like a great time. So I
Look,
don't really
my
care. It's
my ideal society would be we all drive cars from the 50s. We all dress like the 70s. Everyone acts and does things in a modern government in like the 90s. And then everyone listens to 2000s like punk. That's just how it is.
bet, dude. That's
That'd be
kind
the perfect time loop right there.
yeah, no, for sure. What do they call it?
Anachronism?
Yeah, anachronism. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anachromatic. Is that what it is?
I think so. I don't know.
Um,
Grammar. What is grammar?
I don't know, dude. Grammar is something.
It
So
is. Uh,
what else has been happening in the world?
uh,
What else is going on?
not much to be honest. I mean, the first thing that pops into mind is like a fairly sad story. Like,
Oh boy,
so
pretty sad.
this domestic dispute in Mississippi, I believe it was. It involved a 11-year-old boy calling the cops to help solve this issue.
Uh-huh.
And the cops show up and, they demand everyone get out of the house right now with your hands up and everything. Kid gets out with his hands up and everything. Gets fucking shot by the cops. He didn't die. He's alive, obviously, but... Yeah. Can you imagine that? You call the cops to solve the problem and then they, lo and behold, shoot you as you're going out the door. Like...
That happens a lot more than one would think, and that it should. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's really piss poor how cops handle some situations. I mean, but I don't know. It's like they're people too, but like this much error. You know what I mean? Like you're professionals. You should be able to handle this. Like I handle mental health crises at work all the time, and like not all the time, but like enough, and like I know how to handle it and know how to address it. That I'm like putting in the effort to make sure the person's okay.
Yeah.
And like and there was the same. There was a story of like some cops I don't remember where. It must have been like Missouri or something. I really don't remember. But there's this guy having a crisis where he's like super suicidal. He has a shotgun.
Yeah.
And the cops are called, right? And the mom's standing right next to the car,
Yeah.
outside of it at the window, calming the guy down.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working. The cops pull up and like they say like I think they yell free. I can't remember what they yelled before, but it wasn't like mere 3 seconds after they got out their cars. They all had guns pointed at him and just unfucking loaded shots at him, dude.
Jesus. What the?
Straight at the car, and the mom like has to duck and run to the bushes, and then like as soon as they stop firing, just she has this guttural scream of like no, like like she thought like her son was like fucking like gone, and like he wasn't. He survived, but like that's just kind of insane to like oh it's a suicidal guy. Let's fucking let's shoot him up because he's got a gun. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like.
and I mean like he had the shotgun next to him, but it's like that's because he was gonna fucking put it on himself, dude. Like I don't. It's so awful, and luckily he's suing them, so I mean hopefully that gets something out of it. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
it's really
Look,
the video of it's just awful to fucking watch. I hate it.
look. I gotta say, I find it interesting the excuse they have, where it's like, oh, you don't know what you're gonna do in a split-second decision like that, and I'm like, I don't know. In a system in which I can do anything I want, I don't really get in trouble for it.
Hmm.
I'm the one with the gun, like, and I have the advantage. I kind of think to myself, maybe I don't have to just immediately unload. That's just my thought. Okay.
Yeah, they're literally immune from doing any wrong. Like
If I
they
literally have bulletproof armor and plot armor in real life, like, I think I'm good. I like my chances.
cops do have plot armor. I was glad about the cop who was found guilty for the George Floyd murder. That's good.
Oh yeah, everyone was
Fuck
fucking
that
nail
guy.
biting on that one. Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
that
fuck
guy.
that guy. I was really expecting it to go the other way, historically speaking. I didn't
Yeah,
want it to, but that's just how the system works. And
yeah.
but I'm glad that he's in jail, and I hope that he's scared every day because he probably put a lot of guys in that prison as well.
I think just
Um,
being a cop in prison in general is just not good. Whether or not you actually had a direct interaction with them, you are fucked, sir. You might
yeah,
as well
no,
be
for
a
sure.
kiddie diddler in there. Fucking hell.
Yep. No, seriously, they
Yeah.
don't fuck around with when they find out in prison you have like or jail or prison that you have a 290 charge. What's referred to as that? It's a umbrella term for sex offender charge. They immediately assume chomo, and they're like gonna like you're suspect. It's kind of like it's a very fucked practice. I mean, it's obviously also awful if people commit a crime, a sex related crime,
Yeah.
um, against another person. But like, also, I don't know if they should be punished to that severity. But anyway, it's a whole thing, a whole discussion for
Well,
another day.
I gotta find that's like the one consistent thing in like prison though. Like you could be the baddest motherfucker in there. It's like as soon as you find out there's a child molester in there, you're just like, fuck this guy, he's going down.
That's like the common ground for sure.
Yeah, they're just
Um,
like, yeah, no, we do a lot of bad things, but kids, come on, fuck off, man.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. So
yeah,
it's just cops. I think another summation of this episode or this show is that cops just suck, dude.
yeah. I think it's just like the whole like human condition of like letting your stress and emotions take over. When really, if you look at it from an educational point of view, you're like, I have literally all the power in the world in my position. I shouldn't be terrified. They should be terrified of me.
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
like the Stanford prison experiment. It's really unethical, but it's really famous. It obviously showed a lot. It's like the power of the role, right? So like cops are
Yeah.
like in an authority role. When I get pulled over by a cop, I get fucking nervous. I'm like, I don't usually have anything to cause nervousness. I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I may have done some weird traffic thing, violation or whatever, and that's the reason they pulled me over. But yes, it's just always nerve wracking though. I always make sure to stand very still, not move unless I tell them like, hey, I've got my. They ask for the ID, license and registration, and I'm like, oh, that's in my wallet. Can I reach it? Can I grab it? And they're like, yeah, sure. And that's when I move. I'm very careful. I don't want to risk anything because I mean, like anyone is target of police brutality, man. They pushed over some old dude at like the BLM protests, and like they cracked his fucking skull open from that, and he almost died.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's another thing that people miss the mark on. It's like, they're terrified of these cops in that scenario, and their first instinct is to either like be terrified or like try and fight back against that. Now,
Uh-huh.
what I do as well as what you do is I try to talk to them like a normal person.
Mhm.
Just do the normal things, like don't make any sudden movements or anything, or like just say, hey, is it cool if I do this, man? It's like, just try and be like kind of buddy buddy with them. If you like,
Right, yeah.
yeah, you either show that you're complying or like, kind of remove the power away from them. It's like you treat them like a normal person.
Hmm.
Things are going to be good. Things
No,
are going to
totally.
be good.
Well, it could change if you've got a darker skin pigment, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If that is the case, then that's solely on them, and they should be removed immediately from the force.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's the Rage Against the Machine lyric? It's the same. Wait, what's the lyric? It's I want to get it right. Come on, buddy. There we go. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
Shit, that lyric goes hard though. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, and actually, don't look up police in 40%.
Yeah. Actually,
You
you know
won't like
what?
what you find.
You know what? We the 9 to 5 boys don't condone you looking that stuff up, but if you want to look up police and 40%, that is on you, and do with it what you will.
You know, I think one funny thing about cops is like apparently there was an uptick in cop deaths during the pandemic, but it
Yeah.
was the only thing it was related to was COVID-19, and it was like, you know, um, if they had, it was because if they had worn masks, they would have avoided like catching it, but they didn't. They didn't. A lot of them didn't want to wear it, so like, a lot of these cop deaths could have been prevented if they just stopped resisting.
I gotta love that quick progression though too, where it's like they're just like, "Oh, fucking mask! You're not gonna make me wear that shit. Fuck you. Fuck off." Meanwhile, fentanyl. They're deathly afraid of fentanyl. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, they're like, no, please, not the fentanyl.
I gotta
Um,
love your priorities, man. Like the likelihood of you running into fucking fentanyl versus like COVID-19 at the time. What the actual fuck, guys?
and like, wouldn't the mask protect you from both? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the
Like,
mask and gloves will protect you from
'cause
both. Are
wouldn't
you
inhale
kidding
it. You know what I
me?
mean? You can't absorb it through the skin, man. It's like that's stupid. Cops
Yeah,
are dumb, dude.
I feel like that's like a litmus test for just general like thinking in that mindset. Like, oh, that's not a priority of mine in my life. But you know what is this totally unrelated thing that doesn't actually affect me? Like
Yeah, no, totally.
I'm gonna
I
be
mean, there's.
fucking terrified of that and just like make misinformation based on that. Like,
Mhm.
and viewers use that information what you will. That can literally be inserted for anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrendous, man. I hate the state of things. I
Yeah.
really look for this country, man. And like the raising the debt ceiling is just kicking the pebble down the road, dude. Like we're
Yeah.
fucked.
Also, it doesn't stay contained in America either. Like, fucking people in Canada are being affected by our craziness. There's the.
Well, if we default, dude, everyone in the world is gonna feel that shit. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Oh, I'm not thinking about the debt ceiling. I'm just thinking about our craziness in general.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, everyone feels that too. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's why I wasn't worried about the debt ceiling at all. Because I'm like, you don't. Like, if you own a hotel, you don't make money off the hotel by burning down the hotel and thinking your insurance, policy covers that. No, like, the power of capitalism outweighs any stupid decision we might actually make in this country. I mean, come on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we're fucked, man. The system we created is coming crashing down, and I'm kind of worried about it. It's like I'm kind of worried these days, man.
I mean, we're getting closer and closer to that, but I think we'll most likely like have whole country like mental snap before like the economy actually crashes. That's just my thinking, anyways.
I don't know. I wonder, man. I mean, like, because things are going up, and I talk a lot about this with my clients. Is like it's. I mean, especially in the area where we live in alone, it's like, or the state. I'm gonna say because the state's also just expensive in general. It's really expensive to live out here, man. And like people are. It's gonna be to a point where people who have like salary jobs, master's degrees, all that sort of shit, they're not gonna be able to afford to live here.
Yeah, no, I know.
And they're gonna have to like move out, man. It's like it's crazy. And the fact that there's no attempt at stopping that, slowing that down, um, it's horrendous, and it's really and no access to like to affordable housing and stuff like that, and the wait list being so long. It's like, dude, I don't understand why there's not a better system to try and help people. It's like people are just like, what's going to solve the homelessness problem? It's like, well, homes and
Yeah.
resources would be a good start.
Like literally take the Airbnbs or hotels that weren't being used in like COVID-19 and using it to house the homeless
The
and shit.
unhoused, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I mean they had a program like that. So like when I was working the pandemic doing the mental health thing, I'm still doing it, but like when the pandemic was at its height, because it's still kind of like active-ish, I'd say. There's new cases. I'm gonna test tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try and get back on testing weekly to be safe and not spread it.
Yeah, yeah.
And make sure I don't have it stuff and have it again because I've had it twice already. It sucks. But anyway,
Yeah.
so like at the height of COVID, they started this program where like they were doing makeshift shelters, and you'd have to refer yourself for the shelter, get placement, and then if you were COVID positive and on the streets, they'd get you into a hotel for the 2 weeks and have you quarantined so you reduce the spread, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty
So they
rad.
like contracted with a lot of hotels and stuff and spent a lot of money. And this county makes a lot of money, I'm sure of it, in taxes, man. So like just use that to do some benefit and just put it in the right places, but they don't, and it's really annoying. And I'm feeling the effect, man. I feel it every day in my work, dude. Like
Well,
it's troublesome, man.
I think the thing that's gonna like be great though is like it's not just California feeling the hit. Like there are examples throughout this entire country where we're gonna feel like the veil taken off, the real problems being shown for the whole country to see. Like take for instance Florida. Now Florida is a shithole. All right, I'm not gonna be
Mhm.
polite about it. It is a shithole, but
No, absolutely.
Ron DeSantis, out of all people, decided to put in some legislation to really crack down on illegal immigration. And that is going to have an interesting domino effect because the reason why we get such cheap like groceries is because we have backbreaking labor in these fields to collect said fruits and whatnot
Hmm.
that keep the prices like that so low because we're paying them shit. That is
Because they're undocumented and like they're exploited. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, absolutely.
exactly. So,
And people don't get that.
so really crack down on legal immigrants. Remove that fact in that equation, and then or factor in that equation. And what else is left? People who want benefits for doing that kind of work and whatnot, want medical, dental, stuff like that.
Who have high expectations because they're not exploited. They're American citizens, and they have ways to advocate for themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah, that
Exactly. So stay
these
with me
cheaper
here.
farm workers don't. They're exploited. You know.
So stay with me here. That means way more money going into those people to actually do the said job itself. And so how do you keep making significant profits by
You
doing
raise
it?
the prices on your fucking products so you can afford to pay these people uh, uh, respectful wages. You know what I mean, and benefits.
Exactly. And everyone in Florida is already like either like fairly successful or dirt poor trash. So like as soon as
No, for
they
sure.
see that sudden shift and change, they'll be like, wait, hold the fuck on, my friend.
Hmm.
This is fucked. Why did I vote for this?
No, absolutely.
Why
Yeah,
did I let this happen? Oh
it's
my
horrendous,
god.
man.
I guarantee you, as soon as you put literally everyone up against the corner, like they will realize that this society is truly fucked and they will need to actually fight to make a difference about it.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're headed towards dystopia. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really think I don't think there's going to be any banding together. I think we're just going to be all fighting for survival. I think it's going to be the end of days soon, man. Seriously.
I mean, that's why I genuinely think people are gonna have their real Joker moment before the economy, collapses entirely, like unrecoverable type shit. I'm
Maybe,
seeing people
yeah.
in the streets fucking shooting billionaires with a 38 and then just painting their own smiles with blood.
No, for sure, absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah,
Joaquin
yeah.
Phoenix style, baby.
It's gonna be a lot like that, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be chaotic. I think there is a civil war brewing, man. Things are getting real intense, and like people get. I really one of the things I took away from the Dylan Mulvaney thing, the Bud Light thing, and
Yeah.
that still seems to be a fucking issue after 2 months because their sales of Bud Light have gone down like 25% or something,
Yeah.
or they've lost like 25% of profits. I don't remember what the 25% is related to, but it's a decrease in profits,
Yeah.
and Modelo sales have gone up. However, those are from the same parent company,
Yeah, so I'm like, they're
so
still making.
you're not hurting the company at all. It's like it's fine.
Yeah, if you want
It's
to
really
hurt the company, literally drink craft beer. Literally go to a brewery that you never even heard of that has no ties or connections to big corporations, and they sell you
yeah,
like
but that's
grapefruit
expensive.
IPA or something.
That's expensive, and these people boycotting Bud Light, they stopped drinking it, and they were drinking it before because it's cheap beer. It's affordable. It's like
Bullshit! It's expensive. They were willing to lay down, $30 for a 6 pack of ultra right beer because it's not political in your fucking beer.
oh wait, no way, is that a real thing?
It was a real thing, but everyone with a right mind knew that shit was a fucking scam because being in the brewing industry is the hardest industry to break through because of all the ABC laws and whatnot, and it also varies state to state. So it's like shipping any of that shit anywhere in the country is like very fucking difficult.
No, for sure.
And two, like it's a common scam, like big political issue revolving around said product. Someone steps in saying, "Hey, you want
This product
something
doesn't have that issue.
exactly? You want something that fits your good old fashioned family American values? Like drink or eat this product, and you will support said values."
You want to drink something that supports racism, sexism, homophobia, and bigotry? Then drink this shit.
Exactly, and all you get is an image and a fucking website, and you can place your order and whatnot. So you pay with card or whatever the fuck, and then you don't get the product, and they just run off with the money because that's just how that works.
No, for sure, that's insane.
Yeah,
Grifters, man, respect. But
100%. I honestly, I love to see stupid people get fucking ripped off like that, crazy
it's
hard. Like
fun,
it's
man.
amazing.
I love seeing the L's being taken.
Makes me
But
want to pop
my
champagne and just be like, ah, yes, yes, watch it burn.
no, absolutely.
Yeah,
Why I bring that up is because the reaction. It was real reactionary the way that they had just exploded about the situation, and like they were so violent in destroying the product. And it's like if they could do that to a beer, imagine what they would do to like a trans person in real life. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of
yeah,
just like it's real. It's real fucking childish. They're just throwing tantrums. They're like, "Wah, my beer has a lady on it. Boo!" Like, who cares? And it was just the one can. It was one advertisement of not even a campaign. It was just a sponsorship. It was like no biggie, man. It's like,
yeah.
and it's just why why be so angry at someone just living how they want to live? Like, that'd be like the same thing as like, I get mad at somebody for practicing religion. Like they have the right, we all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if someone's gonna be happy, if someone who was born a man is gonna be happier wearing a dress and lipstick for the rest of their lives, fucking go for it, man. And or you go, girl. Like that's what I should say.
Yeah.
And we support that, man. We stand, and any person who was born a woman who wants to be a man, or anything in between, because it's all apparently a spectrum, and that's fine. Go for it, man. Do your thing. Do you, and be you. Be the best you, and if that's gonna be the best you, it's like who fucking cares, man? Trans rights are human rights. Angry Birds tweeted this shit. When are we gonna fucking end, man? Are we gonna start boycotting Angry Birds?
Uh, I doubt that would ever happen because I don't know if anyone actually still plays Angry Birds, and if you do, honestly, hit us up. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of person you are.
Props. I don't. Oh God, I can't remember the last time I played Angry Birds.
I think the last time I played was the Star Wars version, and that was like what? Oh God, probably like 8, 9 years ago, something like that.
Is it really that? Wow. Doesn't
Yeah.
feel that long ago. Because I
No, ever
remember
since like 18,
2011
we've been
maybe.
stuck in a constant time loop, man.
No, I feel it, man.
Yeah.
Um, I remember when that was blown up. It was fun. I remember just having fun. Oh, the early iPhones and stuff, and you have iPhone games, and you're playing, and it's actually like really cool and interesting.
Right.
Um,
Also, can we pause it? I gotta pee.
oh, okay. So we just got 5 minutes left here.
Yeah. No, I couldn't hold in
Or do
that
you want to
pace.
even end it? We could even end it here. I don't really mind.
Yeah. I mean, let's just give it like another 45 seconds just so I can cut this part out. So like
Oh, sure. Yeah, we'll do some filler. Yeah.
here. So yeah, honestly, like okay. So completely unrelated side note. I you know that internet joke where it's like Barbie and Oppenheimer are coming out in the same fucking
Oh well,
day.
yeah. I love the bits around that and the situation about that. That's just funny timing.
Yeah. Okay. So our sister and I, Bianca, we decided that we are actually going to do a double feature of
We gotta do
Oppenheimer
Oppenheimer
and
first.
then Barbie.
You gotta do Oppenheimer first. You gotta see the world's greatest weapon be created, the sadness behind that, and then you gotta be cheered up by Barbie, like
Exactly.
pure camp.
Exactly. So me and Bianca are going to go see that double feature, Oppenheimer then Barbie. One of these days, once it comes out. Okay,
Well,
on
so
a good day off.
this Saturday, I'm doing a double feature. I'm doing John Wick Chapter 4 finally. I haven't seen it yet,
Yes.
and I'm doing some movie called Sanctuary. It just came
Sanctuary.
out recently, and I don't know what it's about, but I'm gonna go in blind and see what it's about because I get the ticket for free because I'm an AMC Stubs A-list member.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that'll be exciting.
Dude, John Wick Chapter 4, there's a great sequence that is like pulled straight out of Hotline Miami, and it's fucking fantastic.
Hell yeah, dude, I'm excited.
Yeah. No, it's honestly the best way to end that series. It really
Mhm.
is. Yeah.
Sweet.
Until the eventual, spin-off,
Well, aren't they doing like two more after this one too, or what?
they're probably doing a couple spin-offs in 2 to 3 years from now, honestly, because I know
It's
there's
all. No, go ahead.
spin-offs, yeah, because I know they're for serious doing the ballerina. I know that with Ana de Armas.
Oh, that's cool.
And I certainly hope they do something with a couple of characters in the movie. You won't know until you see it, but the Tracker and Kane, those two I
Uh-huh.
need to see in a spin-off because they are fantastic.
I'll check it out, man. And
Yeah.
it's apparently 3 hours long.
Yeah, no, if your John Wick movie is longer than 3 hours long, you need to go see a consultant. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we've been recording for about an hour here. What do you say we clock out tonight?
I think that sounds like a good plan, man. So this is the 9 to 5 boys clocking out, baby.